honored guests, faculty, staff, President and Mrs. Farish, friends, family, and of course, class of 2017, good morning and welcome. Looking out at this crowd right now is surreal because I am getting the chance to look out at all of the faces of the people who have put me where I am today. From my parents, to my siblings, to my friends, to my extended family, to my second family, the class of 2017. Today's the day that we've been simultaneously praying for and dreading the past 4 years, and I'm so proud to say today that we've made it. But as we stand here today to mark the end of a journey completed, I can't help but look out at all of you and think back to where that journey began. I'd like to take you back in time by quoting a popular song that was released the summer we moved in our freshman year, Wake Me Up by Avicii. The song says, "Wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older." One of my most distinct early memories from our first weeks here was the night that ICC gave out Italian ice on the Cedar basketball court. I remember standing there with my lanyard around my neck in typical freshman fashion when this song played, and this particular line resonated with me deeply. In that moment, I wished that I could just go to sleep and wake up wiser and older, just skip the newness and the scariness and wake up 4 years later, degree in hand. At that time, I couldn't see how these could be the best 4 years of my life ahead of me. All I saw in front of us was a terrifying unknown. But standing here 4 years later, doesn't that night on the Cedar basketball court feel like just yesterday? The days have truly flown by, almost as if we had just actually slept through college and just woken up here today. In the years since we sat under this tent for convocation, think about how much has happened in the world, in our nation, our school, our class, and ourselves as individuals. Look back on the highlights of the past 4 years. Many of us voted in our first election and saw our voice make change, whether it was in the election or in the subsequent resistance movements. Many of us studied abroad and realized that we are more than just a student in the smallest state in America. We are a global citizen, and there's a whole world out there for us to see. I'm sure everyone tried at least one thing they'd never tried before, whether it was food, a club, attending a conference, or even just taking out one of our paddle boards. We learned that our class will come together to stand up for our common beliefs, even if for something as seemingly trivial as gym attire. And I'd venture to say that most of you are standing here today a very different person than you came in as. I know I am. I look back on my nervous, pessimistic freshman self, and I wish I could go back and show myself how much I would have missed had I actually gotten to sleep through my college years. I never would have had a roommate who introduced me to Nutella. I never would have known the major I came in with was not what I was meant to do with my life, and I never would have found my true passion. I never would have realized what a geek I can be when I actually love what I'm studying. I never would have gotten to study abroad with some of my best friends in Ireland, and I never would have had the honor of being voted your homecoming queen. And I know some of these things may seem silly, but I think it's important to consider how many minor events have occurred to put you exactly where you are today. Sometimes we figuratively sleep on many of the moments that seem insignificant at the time, but end up being the catalyst of something great. As we go out into the world now, wiser and older, it's important for us to remember to stay awake and be present in every moment, the highs and the lows, the successes and the struggles. If there's one thing I've learned in recent years, it's that the world can change in an instant, and it's up to us to be alert, awake, and ready to act when it does. While sometimes we may wish that we could simply go to sleep and wake up wiser and older, we must keep in mind that every moment is the foundation for the rest of our lives. So be engaged. Get involved in politics, your community, your workplace, your own life. Face every day with your eyes wide and your feet firmly planted in the beliefs and values that you've either developed or strengthened over your time here. And always remember that even when times are tough, incredible adventures lie ahead if only you keep your eyes open and face everything awake and ready. I'd like to point out one more line from the same Avicii song. "All this time I've been finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost." I've loved watching you all find yourselves over these past 4 years, and I know that as you go out into the world, you will continue finding and improving yourselves, even if you don't realize that you're lost. 4 years ago, many of us came in thinking we had everything figured out, but I'd guess that very few of us have stayed completely true to those original plans. We've made mistakes, we've learned about our strengths and weaknesses, we've found our passions, we've made our way through the darkness, as Avicii writes. But we could not have gotten to where we are today without the help of each other, our families, and the mentors we've made along the way. Class of 2017, it has been an honor finding myself with you, and I could not be prouder to stand here alongside you all today. As you venture off into the world now, remember to stay awake and embrace the growth that you have in front of you, and to always remember how far you've come in order to remind yourself of how far you can go. Thank you for helping me find myself over these past 4 years. I cannot wait to see where the future takes us all. So with that, wake up, class of 2017. It's all over. You're wiser and you're older. All this time you've been finding yourself, even if you didn't realize you were lost. Thank you.